guys.
Yeah.
Hello, my friend.
Hello, my honey. Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtime gal.
I love that.
Yeah, we might have to cut it out, though, because we have to pay for it.
Oh, because you say, no. Yeah. Really?
I don't know.
Okay. I am so struck by the cognitive and embodied, particularly the embodied, the idea of embodiment.
Mm-hmm.
And Curt, you talk about in the book where somebody will tell you how they feel about you, that they love you, they care about you.
Yeah.
And you'll receive it for a hot minute, and then it lasts about as long as you turn and walk away.
Yeah, right.
And that there's work involved in remembering that.
Totally.
And the beauty of it is there is work to be done. There are things that we can do. And we've talked about this before, I keep a laughter log, where if something makes me laugh.
Do I know this?
I think you know
That you
it.
keep a laugh? Really? I don't know why I'm feeling like I'm hearing that for the first time. You keep a laughter log.
Yeah, and you loved it the first time I told you, and you love it again.
Because the log is just like, ha, 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 ha. It's just
that's exactly
different
how
laughs
my log
that she
is.
logs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like my oh my goshes. But
Yes.
and so because I don't want to forget
great.
those things.
There's right, totally.
And to look at the log, it just brings it back up. But that is the same thing. That's the same thing as remembering what people say to you, and it moves it from cognitive to embodiment. Right? Do I have that right?
Yeah. Right on.
And I was thinking, okay, so my therapist, there were times when, I would go into therapy before COVID, when you could go in now too, and I would, for whatever reason, I would just want to take a minute to be quiet. But I was uncomfortable with that quietness. I thought she might be uncomfortable with that quietness. And she said, Amy, why don't we just sit here together? And I'm like, because I pay you a lot of money. I don't want to be quiet. No, but there was, and then, so fast forward to now, it's ongoing, but so the other morning I was meditating and praying and I wanted to be quiet. And my first response was like, no, that's not prayer. That's, and what did I hear? I heard my therapist say, why don't we just sit here together?
That's so awesome.
And I'm like, that is how we embody God's voice, right? That's how we...
Totally. Yeah, I mean, we do this all the time in the confessional communities where somebody has a moment, has an encounter in which they've been loved, in which they felt understood, seen, whatever, and we will pause and we will ask them to go around the room and say, tell us what just happened.
Yeah.
Tell us what it was that each person did. What did you sense? What did you hear? Not just what were the words they said, but like, what did you notice about their facial expression? What did you notice about their tone of voice? What do you notice that's happening to you physically as these kinds of things are happening? And they go around and do this. And of course, as they do it, it's not just good for them. It's good for the other people who have been offering this to them. Everybody is remembering. The entire community is telling the story over and over again. And then we give them the assignment every day until we come back again next week. Once or twice a day, we want you to take 3 minutes and do this moment again. Practice remembering this moment again. There's no, I think there's no, it's not a coincidence that the Eucharist is an embodied act. There's no coincidence in this. He could just as easily have said, hey, when you all gather, just take a few minutes and just remember. Remember my body and my blood. Think about it. Remember that this is really important. Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's embodied,
Yeah.
and it's a crucial element for us to take serious because the more seriously we take this embodiment, the more capable we will be. Get this: the more capable we will be of comprehending how it is that God takes our suffering seriously.
Mm.
It's
Mhm.
not just that do we take our suffering seriously, is
Mhm.
do I really believe that God takes my suffering seriously? Because we'll
Right.
get to this later on about how easy it is for us to do, for many people who don't immediately, have cancer or who have a son who can't get off drugs or who have this or like if your suffering is not horrible, then your suffering means nothing.
Right. Hmm. Yeah, like
I
we talked about last week, there are small
Yeah,
suffering. I mean, not
yeah,
small. There are.
yeah,
yeah, I love how you illustrate this with Michael in
yeah.
in the
Oh
book,
yeah.
and how he gets to the place where God was something that he much more thought about than
Yeah.
actually embodied. But I wanted to touch upon something that uh of the few things that there's only a few paragraphs that aren't highlighted, but
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Me
on
too.
page 28 you talk about
Mm, mm,
we've been trained by many cultural forces over the last 500 years to believe that if something can't be measured in material terms, if it's limited, if it is limited to the imagination, then it can't be real, right?
mhm,
And then you
mhm.
talk about
Mm.
what do we do with the findings of research that demonstrate how athletes and musicians enhance their performance
Oh
on the court
yes.
or in the concert
Yeah.
hall by repeatedly practicing these actions in their imaginations. And
Yeah.
it's so spoke to me because it's the same thing as an actor. It's the same thing,
Dude,
it's the
it's the
the
grocery
exact
delivery
same.
Yeah.
boy.
It is. It
Yeah.
is.
Dude.
It's the
Um,
elevator.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
just amazing, um, how from imagination to incarnation.
Mm,
And
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah, I think when I read, like, I've always I've understood that as much as I could, but I think this particular story and this
mm,
section of the book, it really kind of like a light bulb went off
Yeah.
mm,
for me
mm,
when
mm,
it comes
mm,
to, what you've been saying about that
mm,
for a
mm,
while.
mm,
Yeah.
mm, mm, mm.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's good. And I think it's hard for us. Uh, it's kind of like it's like anything, right? I mean, so my mother in law passed, and within the last month, and Phyllis, oh my god, I think my wife is adorable, and she utterly. There are just moments where she utterly delights me. And she came home one day. This is after her mom had died, and our daughter had flown home, and she was, and many people have been expressing their their heartfelt condolences to her. And these are people that she's worked with, people from our church, or a range of different people. And she was walking out of Safeway, and Rachel was walking behind her, and she turned to her and she said, "I just can't. It's just so wonderful. Like there are just so many people who love me." And she said it, and she said there was this older gentleman who was walking in, and she's like looking at him when she's saying there's so many people who love me, and she said he had this look on his face of like,
Oh, good.
okay, yeah, right, right, but I mean, but the point is like you could you might believe that in the abstract, and it might be true,
Uh-huh.
but when people bring you meals, when people are
Yeah.
sending you flowers,
Yeah.
when people are leaving things at your door, when people are calling you up, when people are writing you notes, when people are coming for you in an embodied way, it's like, wow.
Oof.
When I was in acting class and we would be preparing for a scene, Charles Nelson Riley would always say, use your imagination. It's free. It's free. You can use it. It's all there.
Oh my gosh.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is good.
Well, thank you for today, Amy. Thanks for your insights.
Yes.
And
Right on. Right on. It's
That's
beautiful.
great.
yeah, this was
Yeah. Thank you.
a great day. I look forward to next week.
You too.
Until then. We'll
Okay.
talk soon.
All right, love you
Ta-ta.
guys.
Love you guys.
Love ya.
All right. We'll see you.
Bye.